As we age, one thing becomes clear: leg strength is no longer just about physical fitness, it's about independence. After the age of 50, our bodies naturally begin to lose muscle mass in a process called sarcopenia. Research shows that we lose about 1% of muscle mass every year after 50, and even more if we don't actively counteract it. Now, you might be thinking, is losing a little muscle really that serious? Absolutely. Because it's not just about how strong you feel, it's about how well you function. Strong legs are critical for balance and stability, preventing dangerous falls. Mobility, the ability to walk, climb stairs, and perform daily activities. Circulation, keeping blood moving and reducing the risk of blood clots. Overall longevity, studies consistently show that grip strength and leg power are predictors of how long you'll live. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, falls are the leading cause of injury-related deaths among seniors in the United States. Many of these falls are due to declining leg strength, not accidents alone. Imagine not being able to catch yourself from a simple trip over a rug, or missing a step on the stairs, and not having the power to stabilize your body. Weak legs can turn minor incidents into life-altering injuries. And here's a sobering thought: a hip fracture after 65 increases the risk of death within a year by up to 30%. That's why maintaining, and even building, leg strength is not optional. It's a health necessity. And the surprising part, what you put on your plate every day could be either helping or hurting that goal, without you even realizing it. And that brings us to a surprising culprit: fruits. Yes, fruits can impact your leg strength more than you might think. So, how fruits can impact leg strength? Well, we often think of fruits as nature's perfect food, packed with vitamins, fiber, and antioxidants. And while that's partly true, not all fruits are created equal, especially when it comes to maintaining muscle health after 50. Certain fruits, particularly those high in sugar or acidity, can actually accelerate muscle loss and impair recovery. Here's why. First, high sugar fruits spike your blood glucose levels rapidly. Over time, repeated spikes lead to insulin resistance, a condition where your body struggles to move sugar into your cells for energy. Without efficient energy delivery, muscle cells are starved, leading to muscle degradation and impaired repair. Think of it like fueling your car with the wrong gas. The engine sputters and breaks down faster. Second, fruits that are highly acidic can contribute to low-grade chronic inflammation in the body. Inflammation damages tissues at the cellular level, including muscle fibers. Chronic inflammation means slower healing, reduced strength, and more joint and muscle pain, a triple threat to your legs. Third, pesticide residues found on many non-organic fruits can interfere with your mitochondrial function. Your mitochondria are the power plants inside your muscle cells. When they're damaged, your muscles can't produce the energy they need to function properly, leading to weakness, fatigue, and faster aging. So while fruits have benefits, choosing the wrong kinds, or the wrong amounts, can sabotage your efforts to stay strong and active. Now, let me ask you, when was the last time you thought biting into a grape could hurt your knees? Probably never, right? But the reality is, it can, under certain conditions. Now that you understand how fruits can quietly impact your leg strength, let's talk specifics. Here are the 7 fruits you must be cautious with if you want to protect your mobility and independence. And trust me, pound 3 is something even most doctors don't talk about. Fruit number 7, grapes, especially conventional table grapes. Let's start with a surprising one: grapes. Sweet, juicy, refreshing, they seem harmless, even healthy, right? Well, not entirely. Grapes, especially the conventional table varieties we find in most supermarkets, are loaded with natural sugars, particularly glucose and fructose. Just 1 cup of grapes contains nearly 23 grams of sugar, which is about the same as 2 donuts. Now imagine snacking on grapes mindlessly while watching TV. You're essentially delivering a sugar tsunami to your bloodstream. High sugar intake triggers insulin surges, and over time, this disrupts your body's ability to use insulin efficiently. What's the consequence? Weaker muscles, due to reduced glucose uptake. Chronic inflammation, silently degrading your joints and muscle fibers. Fat accumulation, especially visceral fat around the abdomen, which pumps out inflammatory chemicals that directly impair muscle repair. But that's not all. Grapes are consistently listed among the Dirty Dozen, the Environmental Working Group's annual list of produce items with the highest pesticide residues. Those chemicals don't just wash off with water, they can seep into the fruit and interfere with your mitochondrial function, the energy engines your muscles depend on. Without efficient mitochondria, your leg muscles will feel heavy, sluggish, and slow to recover after even light activities like gardening or walking. So next time you think, I'm being healthy, eating grapes, just remember, your legs might be thinking, please not again. Now, grapes are sneaky, but the next fruit on our list might be even more surprising, because it wears a healthy halo in almost every diet ad you've ever seen. Number 6. Bananas. The humble banana, poster child for post-workout snacks and heart-healthy eating. But is it really the friend your legs need after 50? Let's look deeper. Bananas are extremely high in simple carbohydrates. A medium banana contains about 14 grams of sugar and ranks relatively high on the glycemic index, meaning it can cause a rapid spike in blood sugar. Why does that matter for leg strength? Frequent blood sugar spikes cause glycation, a damaging process where sugar molecules bind to proteins, including muscle fibers and collagen. Think of glycation like pouring syrup over the engine of a car. Things start sticking, clogging, and breaking down faster. In muscles, glycation leads to loss of elasticity, making muscles stiff and weak, reduced muscle repair and regeneration after everyday strain, higher risk of injuries, like strains, sprains, or tears, even during low-impact activities. Plus, bananas are naturally low in magnesium, a mineral crucial for proper muscle contraction and relaxation. As we age, our bodies are already prone to magnesium deficiency, so over-relying on bananas while neglecting magnesium-rich foods could worsen cramping, stiffness, and muscle fatigue. Picture this. You're stretching your legs after a morning walk, reaching for a banana thinking you're doing the right thing. Meanwhile, deep inside your muscles, sugar is binding to collagen like tiny handcuffs. Not exactly the repair you had in mind, right? Now don't get me wrong, bananas have their place when used strategically, like during intense athletic training, but for everyday living after 50, there are much better options for protecting your leg strength. Number 5. Pineapple. Now, coming in at number 5, is a fruit that's often hailed as a super detox powerhouse, the pineapple. You'll see it in smoothie recipes, cleanse programs, and tropical fruit bowls. But when it comes to protecting your leg strength and joint health after 50, pineapple has a more complicated story. On the positive side, pineapple does contain bromelain, a natural enzyme known for its anti-inflammatory properties. But don't let that fool you. The high acidity and concentrated sugar load make pineapple a risky pick when consumed regularly. Here's why. 1. Acidic burden on the body. Pineapple has a pH of about 3.2 to 4.0, making it one of the more acidic fruits. For older adults, especially those already dealing with joint stiffness, arthritis, or inflammation, this acidity can irritate connective tissues around joints, exacerbate gout or uric acid buildup, lead to chronic acidosis, which leaches calcium and magnesium from bones and muscles to neutralize pH, weakening both. 2. High fructose content. Pineapple contains about 16 grams of sugar per cup, much of it in the form of fructose, which the liver must process. Fructose overload stresses the liver, reduces energy conversion, and promotes fatigue in the leg muscles, especially during recovery from activity. 3. Insulin resistance trigger. When eaten without fiber-rich companions like nuts or seeds, pineapple can cause quick blood sugar spikes, leading to insulin resistance over time, and we already know how that impacts your ability to preserve muscle mass. So next time you're on a cleanse and thinking pineapple is doing you a favor, ask yourself, am I cleansing or weakening? 4. Watermelon. At first glance, watermelon seems harmless. It's over 90% water, after all. But under that juicy surface lies a fruit that's deceptively high on the glycemic index, and that spells trouble for aging muscles and legs. Let's break this down. 1. Blood sugar roller coaster. Despite being mostly water, watermelon has a glycemic index of about 72, which is considered high. That means it causes rapid blood sugar spikes, triggering insulin responses that, when repeated over time, dull the muscle's ability to uptake glucose. This leads to tired, sluggish leg muscles, increased fat storage, and long-term, reduced lean muscle mass. 2. Electrolyte imbalance risk. Watermelon is a natural diuretic. It promotes urination. While this can be helpful for hydration, it also risks flushing out key electrolytes like potassium and magnesium, both of which are essential for muscle contraction, strength, and nerve function. If you've ever woken up with a sudden leg cramp, it might not just be age. It might be a dip in electrolytes caused by over-consuming fruits like watermelon without replenishing those minerals. 3. Low nutrient density for muscles. Watermelon is low in amino acids, calcium, and magnesium, making it a poor choice for muscle recovery. It fills you up quickly, but doesn't support muscle retention or rebuilding, especially in the quads, hamstrings, and calves, the muscles that hold you up, carry your weight, and protect your bones. Number 3. Cherries, especially canned or dried. You've probably heard that cherries are good for inflammation and even gout, and that's partly true. But here's the full picture. Fresh cherries, in moderation, can offer some antioxidant benefits. But for most people over 50, especially in the US, cherries are often consumed in canned, dried, or juice form, and that's where the danger begins. 1. Hidden sugar bombs. Dried cherries are shockingly high in sugar. Just a 1/4 cup can contain over 25 grams of added sugar. Canned cherries often sit in heavy syrup, which is pure concentrated glucose and fructose. These forms spike insulin levels, fuel inflammation, and hinder mitochondrial function in your leg muscles. 2. Promotes chronic inflammation when processed. When cherries are preserved with sulfites or added sweeteners, they lose most of their anti-inflammatory compounds and start doing the opposite, promoting joint stiffness and delayed muscle recovery. 3. Acid-base imbalance. Overconsumption of sweetened cherries, especially without alkaline foods to balance them, leads to low-grade metabolic acidosis, which leaches minerals from bones and weakens muscle coordination and endurance in your legs. Fruit number 2. Fruit juices, even freshly squeezed. Let's clear something up right away. Fruit juice is not fruit, even if it's 100% pure, not from concentrate, or freshly squeezed. Your body treats it very differently than a whole fruit. Here's why that matters to your legs. 1. Sugar without fiber equals a disaster for muscles. When you eat a whole orange, you get fiber, which slows down sugar absorption. But when you drink the juice of 3 4 oranges in one glass, you're ingesting 30-40 grams of sugar, fast. That's a blood sugar spike followed by an insulin roller coaster. The result, fatigue in the leg muscles, increased lactic acid production, reduced muscle endurance. Your legs tire faster and recover slower. 2. Promotes sarcopenia, muscle wasting. Studies show that chronic high sugar intake, even from natural sources like juice, can increase the risk of sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass. Your legs are the largest muscle group in your body. That makes them the first victims. Without resistance training and proper nutrition, fruit juices act like a silent thief, robbing you of your strength year by year. 3. Low nutrient density for seniors. As you age, your body becomes less efficient at absorbing vitamins and minerals. You need foods that are nutrient-dense, not just sweet. Juice gives you calories and sugar, but very little of the fiber, potassium, magnesium, and vitamin C your leg muscles crave. And fruit number 1. Dried fruits. And finally, we reach the most deceptive form of fruit for aging adults, dried fruits. They look harmless. They're often sold in health food aisles, but for your legs, they can be a disaster. 1. Ultra-concentrated sugar bombs. Drying fruit removes water, shrinking it down, but not the sugar. Just cup of raisins equals over 30 grams of sugar. A few dates, that's 40+ grams, mostly fructose. And fructose, unlike glucose, gets metabolized in your liver, leading to fat storage, inflammation, and reduced mitochondrial function. That's energy drain at the muscle level. 2. Accelerates ages. High sugar intake from dried fruits increases glycation, where sugars attach to proteins and fats in your body, forming ages. These molecules are directly linked to joint stiffness, tendon damage, reduced flexibility in the legs and hips. You may feel it as morning stiffness, aching knees, or even a sense of heavy legs after short walks. 3. Acidic load and mineral loss. Most dried fruits, especially if they're sulfured or sweetened, contribute to a higher acid load. To neutralize that acid, your body pulls calcium and magnesium from your bones and muscles, weakening your skeletal structure and muscular contractions. So eating a handful of dried fruit every day, that's like watering a plant with soda and wondering why it's wilting. Now that we've uncovered the 7 worst fruits for leg strength after 50, this video wasn't meant to demonize fruit. It's meant to help you reclaim control over your food choices, over your strength, and over your future.